PIMP, 50 Cent on XFM 104.9, me, Ricky Gervais, you, Stephen Merchant, and you, Karl Pilkington. Alright? What are we doing then? How are we going? Karl, how are you feeling? What, on a scale of 10 now, happiness scale?
Just building back up again a bit.
Yeah? Why?
Probably on about 5.
Oh, that's not bad.
What changed it? What changed it?
Just calm down a bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
The chilled out vibes of PIMP probably helped you.
Yeah.
I think we should just say, give massive props to, Adam and Joe, who stood in for us.
Oh yeah, stood in for us.
Did a great job.
Yeah, great, really good.
In fact, interestingly, I listened to the show.
Are they gonna get their own show here? I think they should.
Yeah, they'll probably get something.
Well, there you go.
Well, it's interesting, as I was listening to them, they had quite a nice selection of features. They had a couple of good competitions and things. Now, I don't know if, having done them for XFM, is it somehow, they may be kind of under some kind of XFM copyright? Which would mean, as we've got no ideas, maybe we could just hijack some of theirs. Maybe you could look into that. Obviously not Monday, you're not here, but...
I was with Joe Cornish last night, went to a little, do, at, Jonathan's house, and Joe was there, and he walked in, and I was taken aback by how tall he is.
Sure.
Cause I'd forgotten, and he's about 6'4", but he's unlikely to, you know what I mean by that? It's sort of like some people surprise you. And, he was going, you know, I don't consider, 6'4", big. I said, well, it is pretty big. I said, but I know what you mean. I walk around with Steve Merchant.
Yeah.
And, he went, how tall's Steve? And I was 6'7".
Yep.
And Joe went, oh, that's nearly a disability, isn't it?
Do you know, he's absolutely right as far as I'm concerned. No, do you know, I genuinely, since school, I used to go to school with a little disabled fella. Lovely guy. No, I swear to God, lovely guy. And I remember he came in when we got in the sixth form, and he basically got, I don't know what the ins and outs of it were, but as far as I could tell, he'd got a car for free. A specially converted car.
Yeah.
You know, because he was disabled. And, he was driving
same as Karl. Me. I need this, I need that.
But it seemed to me that I was thinking, well, why can I not get something similar? Because there are some cars I can't fit in. Because I'm too tall. I genuinely cannot drive the smaller cars, the cheaper cars. I'm obliged to buy a more expensive, larger car. Because I can't fit in the toilet.
Yeah, that's like saying you've got to pay more for your shoes because there's more leather, which is true.
Which is absolutely true. It's a nightmare getting shoes.
But fat people have to pay more.
Do you know, it's a nightmare getting chairs, comfy chairs that I can sit in the home. I sit in a chair for very long and my back's killing me. Now, how is that not a disability? But no, you don't see people like me whinging.
But I think tall people, I've read an article that taller people on average, get, higher wages through something, through, you know, an advantage, or just because they're taken more seriously than little dumpy fellas. Sure. Do you know what I mean?
But I don't think I genuinely don't think there are many benefits of being really tall. People seem to assume there are, but beyond the fact that I can reach things down from a high shelf.
I know.
I don't think there's any real perks.
I've seen you hit your head a few times.
That's a disability.
I know, I have seen you hit your head a few times, and I think, oh god, that must have hurt. Obviously I'll make sure okay and then laugh.
Of course.
But I know it must be annoying.
Thanks, mate.
No, but I mean, there's a pub, there's one pub in Soho that he has to go down backwards. Yeah. He has to lean that, it looks like a limbo dancer.
Yeah, they've almost got to lower me in on routes.
I always find it amusing.
But but like for instance on an airplane, I can't get some of the seats, I can't fit in some of the seats. Not in any way, not the way that I could.
Because
well, you're talking, how is that not a disability?
There's some seats that people can't afford because they're poor. It's not a disability.
That's irrelevant. Don't go on a plane then, because you're poor. But if you can't afford to go on a plane, you can't afford to go on a plane. You should have studied hard at school.
But what annoys me about that is there's
a physical disability I was born with.
There's a weight allowance, so I might not be allowed loads of bags on, but there might be a big fat pig in the queue who's allowed the same chocolate allowance as me.
But that's because they've been eating like a bloater. I couldn't stop myself from growing this tall. It wasn't a conscious decision. I didn't think, I'll tell you what, I won't smoke when I'm a teenager. Maybe I'll suit up. I'll eat healthy. I'll probably add an extra 2 feet. It just kept going.
You do eat too healthy. You eat way too many greens.
But that's not why I grew to this height. It's a genetic thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you'd lived near, some sort of pylon or something and just, as I say, smoked from an early age, you wouldn't have been that tall.
Don't think when I was a gangly teenager having the piss taken out of me, I wasn't thinking I wish I'd been born near a pylon. Could you, or Chernobyl.
Could your mum or dad, like, could they have bandaged you, like they did with little, didn't they do that with someone's feet?
Well, yeah, yes.
I didn't come out this tall, did I?
No, but I
and how would they bandage him? They'd have to bandage him round the feet and round the top of the head.
Yeah, I'd be walking around like a mummy.
Yeah, or a bonsai boy.
But people didn't really realise I was going to be this tall until I was 14 or 15. You know, you don't realise when you're an 8-year-old.
How tall were you when you were about like a gangly, okay, so a typical gangly teenager, 15. How tall were you at 15?
I don't know, 6'5" maybe?
And I bet you were like a beanpole, weren't you?
Of course.
Yeah. And what sort of glasses did you have?
Cool.
No, what did you have?
I don't know, a monocle. No, I can't remember.
Did you wear a bow tie once?
I wore a bow tie? I thought, I was trying to preempt the styles that might be coming round. I think I've been watching a lot of George Formby films. And I thought it can only be a matter of time before the bow tie comes in. I thought it might be quite kind of urbane and debonair.
Yeah.
So what that
was Robin Day at the height of his
I think he
fame
might have
around
been.
this time? Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go for that dandy look. I thought that's what the girls are going for.
I know,
The dandy.
Oh dear.
So
I
I
still want to
adjusted
see you with a pipe and trilby.
Yeah.
I just think you'd look great
I'd like
walking
to wear
on
a
the
bow
street.
tie.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I
dear.
genuinely, I really, it does frustrate me that I don't get any allowances
It
for
doesn't
being
count
punctual.
as a
Well,
disability.
it does count.
No, it doesn't. It's not a disability being 6'7".
But
There
how
is-
can you explain, for instance, travelling on a bus or a coach? There's some
The
seats
only
I can't sit
disadvantage
in.
is, people look. I've seen people stare at you, but they stare at me because I've been on the telly. What's that a disability? Are that people being recognised?
Yes, but you could avoid that by not being on the telly. It's your choice. This is
Yeah.
my point. It's your choice.
Yeah,
It's the same
okay.
as the big fat people.
And
It's their
yeah.
choice.
It's a different sort of stare, isn't it? I've been there.
Yeah.
When, the sort of stare that you get and the sort of stare.
Well,
Steve
obviously,
gets.
Sorry, Steve, but I'm gonna, follow up this inquiry. What do you mean, Carl?
No, I'm just saying it's more of a stare of fear than, like with you, they go, oh, it's him.
Yeah, go on.
Whereas with you, it's more like, jeez.
Do you know what frustrates me? I thought he did deserve having a Monday off. I've changed my tune.
Yeah.
I was sometimes you don't realise this, listeners, but sometimes I'm an intermediary. I do step in when he's winding him up, because
Yeah.
Carl gets to the point where he's going to explode.
Yeah, and
It's
Steve says,
crazy.
okay, Jeff, leave
And
me
I
for a little
step
while.
in, and this
Yeah.
is the kind of response I get from Carl. This is the kind of back chat I get
Well, I
from
tell
him.
you, he's a little
Because
user.
I'll tell you what, because he's too scared of winding you up, because he knows that you'll just walk out of here and he won't get his Monday off.
Absolutely. Play a record, you little oik.
Weasel. You're a weasel.
Joe Jackson, Different for Girls on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. He's annoying me now because he's got a day off and he's got 2 hours and he's miserable. He's not even doing anything to the show. It really annoys me.
Well, hang on, wait a minute.
What?
You've forgotten his brilliant film quiz.
Yeah,
He's contributed that.
that he probably did during the week.
Well,
Do you know what I mean? What are you gonna change your attitude, Karl, or what? Or should we just not bother with this show?
Told you.
What?
Don't annoy me and you'll get the best out of me. Yeah?
I told you. I told you. This show is to annoy you. You knew that.
But this is what you're gonna get. Do you know what I mean?
But no, you've got to be good and get the day off, or there's no point for any of us.
Right, if you were having an operation, would you annoy the doctor?
What?
You can't concentrate, can he? Don't wind
And
him
the
up.
fact that he's a doctor.
all of a sudden.
yeah. He's got to press a button and find out what a monkey did in 1932. And he's
Where's the monkey news?
It's been a bit quiet, hasn't it? I've been...
What, in the
keeping an
last
eye out.
3 months?
Okay, there was something that I found last week about one that was in an old people's home. It escaped from some zoo, it was wandering about, it was enjoying itself, and then when it got to the night time, it was like, oh, what am I going to do? And the first place it came across was like this old people's home.
Yeah.
Went in there, I think it was there for about a week and a half, without anyone realising.
No,
No, it did.
No, so the helpers and the nurses and the social workers and the matrons and all that, they thought, well, Mr. Sanders looks a bit hairy. But I mean, that happens, it comes out your ear and your nose when you get to about 70. And he stooped over, yeah, of course he has, he's got bow legs, yeah. And he eats more fruit, of course he does.
Well, that's when they realised.
Why?
Because someone in the kitchen said, hang on a minute, getting through more bananas than we normally get.
Well,
Sure.
do the competition, do the one thing you've done this week, probably in their time again, you're getting paid for it, you're having Mondays
so
off, and
yeah,
you're not
that-
into it, so
That
waste of
film,
time.
That film sounds good. It was
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, okay
Come
then.
here. I'm well happy now I've had that.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that's a bit of a cryptic clue.
Yeah.
Someone eating this woman,
Yeah.
and he's happy that he's
Yeah,
had that.
yeah, go on, yeah.
That was Gladiator. So, who wins
A
the stuff?
couple of people sent
I
in
think you should-
Hannibal, which would still work,
Yeah.
and someone else sent in Maneater, which I suppose works as well.
Although he did put the thing in about, I'm well happy. Glad.
Yeah, I know.
I know,
but
it's
even
not,
so.
it's not worth the, I don't know, 100 quid he gets for this and a day off, no.
Well,
Right, think
Eva,
about it.
who got the answer right, well done to her, I'm going to give her the prizes, she said that she'd heard this before on Christian O'Connell's show.
Ah, this is really annoying. Right, that's it. You're gonna do something, or we're gonna stop this and you have to work Mondays again. Because you are taking the piss out of me, you're taking the piss out of Graham, and you're taking the piss out of London. I'll see you next week, and you can change your attitude.
Limp Bizkit. We may be back next week. It depends how Carl gets on. Maybe he bucks up his attitude.